Hi, this is Abby, and I have Zeus here, and we have Angel. So we are with the Virtual Ninja. We specialize in helping investors close deals. And today we have one of our longest and one of our best clients, who's also a virtual wholesaler who has been helping a lot of investors as well to close deals. And today he is going to be sharing his personal experience with us. So, hi, Ben.
Hello, how you guys doing today?
Oh,
Very good.
fantastic, I guess.
We're
It's a
doing
visit.
wonderful. Yes.
I appreciate the introduction, and I appreciate being a client of you guys. You guys have been doing really good for me. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So yeah,
So-
yeah, we just wanted to hear, you know, your personal experience. We have been doing this case study, so we just wanted to you know, check on things.
Sure. Well, my experience with you guys is very unique because I have a degree in marketing. So coming from that perspective, I thought that I could run a marketing company myself to give me deals for my real estate company. And I very quickly discovered that I had to pick one or the other. I couldn't run a marketing company and then do real estate. It's just not enough time in the day to do both. And so when I found out about you guys a few years ago, I thought, you know, because a lot of people, as an investor in being a member of groups on Facebook and stuff, you are always getting bombarded by people offering you cold calling services and skip trace services and stuff like that. So it becomes a challenge to know when or how to pick a virtual assistant. And that is without even mentioning that whenever I was hiring virtual assistants, they wouldn't show up for work. They always had power outages. And then, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, like maybe I shouldn't hire anyone from the Philippines, you know? And so, but then, so I started asking questions like that. And then, you know, I found you guys. And then I got on the phone with Abby. And I think we were messaging first back and forth. This is a few years ago, so it's kind of hard for me to remember. But Abby just said to me, hey, what is your phone number? And, you know, I thought, I like that. What is your phone number? So I gave the phone number to Abby, and she calls me. And she calls me from a Florida number, which is, I'm in Florida. And she's like, hey, we can help you do more deals. And I'm like, okay, what do you guys do? And so, you know, she's like, hey, we do cold calling and stuff. And then I started asking questions because I had a lot of knowledge of marketing and stuff. And I said, hey, walk me through how you guys do your operation. And then I think Abby sent me some pictures of the call center and stuff like that. And then I was sold. And I always tell Abby that she's like a little kitten that opens up her mouth and a lion comes out. So that happened to me that one day. So that was great.
Okay, that's really great to hear. So yeah, thank you. We really appreciate that, all of it. So
no problem.
Ben, we just wanted to know, because you have been with us for years. Well, we wanted to know the secret. I mean, there's a lot of especially in the market right now, there's a lot of real estate investors or wholesalers who has been pausing their
either they're quitting or they are kind of stopping doing their real estate investing business as of now because of what's happening in the market. And so we wanted to know what your secret is to maintaining your business going.
That's a loaded question. But and so I'll try to make it very brief. Most people that don't survive in the market, there's a guy, a friend of mine sent me an Instagram post. His name is Jay Dalio. I think that's his name. I hadn't heard about him, but he's a really well-known real estate investor. And he said that your real estate strategy has to be market proof. You can't be in real estate without being subject to the changes in the market. So we have to pick a strategy in real estate that can survive a bull market or a bear market. And to me, the secret to coming up with that strategy is to make three offers to every seller. One is going to be your low cash offer. Then another one is going to be a terms offer if they want too much for the property. And then the third one is going to be somewhere in between, like a hybrid or something like that. You may go into a fourth one, which might be something more like along the lines of a novation agreement or something like that. But in order for you to do that, you have to take really good notes and really listen to the seller and seeing where their pain points are and see how you can solve the real estate problem. One of the leads that you guys sent me, she is in California. Her name is Lean. Lean, when I called her, she didn't pick up the phone. And so I kept calling because I always think in my head. So that's the second secret, I guess, is to be persistent and know to do the follow-up. And one thing that I don't do that other wholesalers might be doing is they blame the virtual assistant. Hey, they want too much money for the house. And then they're in this hamster wheel trying to find a good virtual assistant when they don't do the correct follow-up, right? And so one of the things that makes it easy for me to do follow-up is that you guys are always constantly sending me deals. But this woman, Lean, I called her and she wouldn't pick up. I started texting her and I just knew it was a good deal. Why? Because you guys sent it to me. That's how I knew, you know? And so I kept calling. She wouldn't answer for like 2 months. Then finally I called at like some odd time. I think it was like really early because she's in California. I'm in Florida. So it's easy for me to call people early that are in the West Coast. So it might have been like 5 or 6 in the morning, her local time. And she picks up and I'm like, hey, is your name Lean or Lynn? And she goes, no, it's Lean. It's Lean. And I said, how you doing, Lean? Good morning. And she goes, good morning. Who is this? That's the other thing is the follow-up. You got to be friendly. You can't be too business-like. That's another secret, I would say. And I just talked to her. And through the conversation, she told me that she was in bankruptcy and she was also in the middle of a pre-foreclosure, proceedings. And so I just started asking her, say again?
There's a lot of pain in there.
Yeah, a lot of pain in there for sure. And you guys were able to identify it. And so anyway, that property, I just sent the contract last Saturday. She told me she wouldn't sign it until after Thanksgiving because she didn't want to sign her life away pretty much, until after Thanksgiving, although she knows she has to do that. And I will tell you one thing. She told me that her lawyer told her not to talk to anybody about the house, not to do anything unless she talks to the lawyer first. And she says, I don't know why, Ben, but I trust you and I'm going to sign this. And I'm like, are you going to run it by the lawyer? And she goes, no. I said, good. True story. Yeah. Okay. So I would say that's the secret. Good follow-up. Making sure that that you're not spinning your wheels with the initial outreach. Yep. And having a 3-pronged strategy: cash offer, terms offer, and a middle of the road somewhere in between offer every time.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say this because you mentioned that earlier that there are some investors who kept on, going on this hamster wheel where, they kept on looking for good virtual assistant, but then they're not really doing the follow-up that they need to do, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share this as well, because we've had experiences with investors who kept on changing their VAs. In fact, where we gave them the best VA we got already, but then they would look for something who's something better, someone who's better than that one. But then when we checked on the leads that the VA was sending, the leads were all good, well, they're not 100% a hot lead, but most of them are warm leads at least. I mean, there really is an interest in selling the property. But then the problem is that some of them would tell us that the prospect or the seller is not even responding or not even picking up the phone. But the point here is that not everybody would be available the first time you call them.
That's right.
And even with us as a cold caller, when we called them, they didn't even really pick up the phone the first time we called them. We had to call them a bunch of times. We have to try our best, just to get them on the phone, because you don't really know when would they be available or when they're busy or not. So I just wanted to share that because it's a good thing that you mentioned it. That way, most of investors wouldn't think that it's not always the cold caller's fault that the person or the prospect is not picking up the phone.
That's right.
Sometimes the prospect is just really busy to pick up the phone.
Yeah. I think it boils down to expectations. The expectations out there being said on YouTube, and I'm glad you guys asked me to do this because I think that it's very beneficial for people watching to have the right expectations, because when they're looking at videos on YouTube, pretty much the system goes something like this. They say, well, go get a list, skip trace it, hire a cold caller, then get it under contract and get paid, get an assignment fee. And they make it seem like it's a one time, every step, it only takes one time. So I will tell you, before I go into like answering that, really pretty much, I will tell you is like on my end, what I would say is like most people that I help, close their first deal, which I do that, often. I often JV with people. I love doing that. And I have to, because I'm a virtual wholesaler. And so I can't be, everywhere. So I have to depend on local people. So, but here's what they do. Like my version of what you just said is this. I see people struggling when they submit an offer and they get rejected. They're like, no, I don't accept that low ball offer. And then they give up. And I will say this for you guys as listeners and so forth. I will tell you that the average that I've seen, and I started with real estate in 1998, and I got used to people rejecting me. So if you kind of ask, say, a real estate agents get used to offers and counter offers, and you always go back and forth, offer, counter offer, and so forth, back and forth multiple times. And so what I see on my end, when we close a deal, it took me about, on average, 17 different offers or counter offers in total before I was able to close somebody. I mean, heck, there was a lady I think about, this is like 7 years ago, when I thought I would, I would do it all myself. I was cold calling myself and all that kind of stuff. A waste of time. Nobody should be doing that. But because my job is just to close them. So I went to meet somebody at an old folks' home, and she was about to die. I didn't know. I just thought, she's older, she's in a home or whatever. I was there with her sister, Blenda was her name, Blenda somebody. This is like 5-6 years ago. I literally got there at 9 a.m. I met them. I just thought I was going to come in there and sign the contract, right? I left. I'm not kidding you. I left that home at about 5 or 6 p.m. I was there for almost like 10 hours or something, just going back and forth, talking, getting to know them and stuff. And so within that short span of a time, we went through about 7 or 8 counter offers until we agreed to something and we walked out. So to go back to your point there, Zeus, people give up too easily because they don't have the right expectations. So when I get a lead from you guys, like with Lean, you know, I have to call her for 2 months, and it's like a daily thing. It's like a daily call. Every time, every day, I'm calling or I'm texting, I'm doing whatever it takes. Now, if I know that the deal is going to be good, guess what? You know, like, I'm going to go door knock. I'm going to figure out that lady I just told you about, Blenda, I couldn't get a hold of her. And before we set up an appointment, I actually was calling her, and I could never get a hold of her. I chased her for like about a year. Finally, I said, you know what? This deal is good. I know this deal is good. I went and I door knocked. And you know what she said? She said to me, oh, I unplugged my phone from the wall. I only plug it back in when I need to talk to somebody. So I'm like, I've been calling you. She's like, well, it's always unplugged. You're not going to get a hold of me. I said, you know what? That actually plays to my advantage because nobody else is calling you. She's like, no, that's right. I got sick and tired of the calls. I just unplug it. And she goes, and I'm like, so is that why you don't have a cell phone? And she goes, that's exactly why. Because a cell phone, you know, it's like you're glued to it. And she's like, I'm better off with a landline because I just can unplug it anytime. I don't want to talk to anybody. I said, good strategy. So I ended up doing that deal. But it took about a year, a lot of persistence, and even door knocking. So I would say to the people that give up, like this guy that you were describing, it sounds like, first of all, he needs to kind of go through his leads again and kind of revive them, because I guarantee you there's some deals in that list. And number two, he just can't give up. You can't just give up. You know, if somebody, you got to be persistent. You got to be persistent. Call them, text them, find their email, find their relatives, just keep going. If the deal is good enough, just stay at it. And I guarantee you something is going to happen. I personally follow up about 8 hours a day minimum with all the leads you guys send me. I'm on the phone myself about 8 hours a day, just following up. So yeah, we have to have the right expectations. I would say 17 contracts, you get a deal, or counters, you know. And then as far as follow-ups, I would say get comfortable in your chair to try to call these people about every day for at least 2 months before they actually pick up, so you can start sending contracts. I think those would be the right expectations.
Okay, that's a good point. Good point you got there. Yep. Okay, so I think my next question is going to be, this is most of what wholesalers have, or investors that is wanting to get a VA or cold caller. Most of the questions that they have is, what's the benefit of having one versus not having, not having a VA or a cold caller at all? What's the benefit? Wow.
Yeah, that is a really good question. Let me just put it this way. When you don't have a VA, you are creating yourself a job, because so when you thought that you're going to quit your 9 to 5 and then go into business, and you're going to go and do real estate, and then you're going to create wealth and make passive income and stuff. Of course, that's why most of us go into real estate. But at the start, you don't start that way unless you have a ton of money and you can just buy properties and sit on that. So if you're like the rest of us, where you are, just trying to go from paycheck to paycheck and then go into real estate, what you need to think about is that it's not going to be that easy. You have to work. And you can't create yourself a job. And so cold calling and texting and marketing is a full-time job. So if that's a full-time job, and also let's say closing and sending contracts and going back and forth, offers and counter offers, that is also a full-time job. And when I say full-time job, I'm not talking 9 to 5. I'm talking about 24/7. You have to do that because you guys have a good operation. But if you guys didn't have the operation and the systems and the employees that you guys have, and if it was just Zeus and Abby, you would be working a lot more around the clock to serve your clients, right? But now that you've built a system over the years, and I've seen you guys struggle, and you guys have been so successful, and like, I commend you for that. It's like very admirable, and I look up to you guys. You guys are my heroes. You know, because it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. You know, you have managers, you have data managers, you have skip tracers, you have, of course, the cold callers, you have texters, you have, man, the operation is just fascinating. It's just fantastic. But if you just have one VA, that VA has to work around the clock in the background. So the outreach to sellers has to happen in the background automatically. Think of your VA as somebody who's always passing you the ball so you can dunk it, right? That's your VA. That's all you're doing. So you can't, can you pass the ball to yourself from one side of the court to another? You can't. And you got to realize that real estate is a team sport. And you're always facing, if we're talking about basketball, you're always facing 5 players. Yeah, you can play one-on-one and no problem, right? But real estate is not like that. You're always facing 5 players on the other side, on the opposing team. So you can't play 1 against 5. You just can't do it, you know? So the benefit of having a virtual assistant is that it takes care of one job that you can't do on your own. So you can focus on the second job, which is getting the properties under contract. It's a huge lesson. I think people need to understand that.
Yeah. I remember on our page, our quotation says, do what you do best and outsource the rest.
That's right. That's right. That's a great quote. That's a great quote.
I have another question, actually. I think this is my last question for you. As far as we know, you have hired or you work with different VA companies before, or you work with an individual. I mean, what's the difference of you working with them and versus working with us?
With the virtual ninja.
Is there any difference at all, or?
Yeah. I would say the difference is, first of all, is the people. You guys are a pleasure to work with. And it's not just me. I mean, you guys even know some of my clients that I've even referred to you guys, you know, and they say the same stuff. You guys are just a pleasure to work with because you're easy to get along. And whenever there's a change that needs to be made, I either bring it up to you or to Angel or to Alex or to Zeus or something, you know, there's always somebody. That's another huge point. You know, it's like, there's always somebody that can take care of the client, me, right? Or take care of the other clients that you have, because there's always somebody on the floor doing something. You know I shouldn't text you over the weekend, but I do. And you reply.
But that's okay. You're just texting. Some are actually calling us.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the biggest difference. The biggest difference is that you guys are always there for me. I even, you know, and I didn't mean to put this or get us into a different tangent, but we talk about business. You guys have become friends now. And we strategize together. I mean, I ask you a lot of questions like, what are you guys seeing in the market? You know, like, what do you guys see? Can you see the changes and so forth? And we talk about that. And you guys give me advice. You tell me, you know, you give me insight as to what other investors are doing and how they're adjusting to this market. So we have, I would say, I heard the great Robert Kiyosaki interview. I think he was interviewing Tom Wheelwright, his tax advisor. And here's what he said. He said, hey, I could have looked for any tax advisor, any CPA to do my taxes. There's plenty of qualified CPAs out there to do my taxes, as a Kiyosaki's talking, you know, as a real estate investor. But I don't look for somebody to do the job. So in this case, I wasn't looking for somebody to do the cold calling. And here's what Kiyosaki says that is very, very profound. He says, I don't just want a CPA. I want a coach, an advisor, because I am not a CPA. I am not a tax strategist. I want somebody to handle what they do best, which is taxes, right? And I want them to teach me those taxes, those tax planning strategies. And not only to do that, but to see what I can't see and to kind of guide me through the process. And that's how I see you guys. I let go of the cold calling DIY, do it yourself. You know, I was trying to do that. I let go of that a long time ago. And that's what I got with you guys. You guys provide the service. That's great. You guys do all of that. That's great. And you guys do a great job. But what I got with you guys is you guys are coaches. You guys want me to close deals. You guys want to work with me to close more deals. So that is the biggest difference, that I was never able to find another VAs, another cold calling agencies. They don't do that. They just give you the service and they're done. Like they don't care about like what happens after. But you guys aren't like that. You guys actually want to do deals. You guys want me to finalize my deals. And I searched for a very long time to find somebody like that. And I thought, you know, it's impossible to find VAs like that want your success, until I found you guys. And I'm like, here they are.
Yeah.
Soulmate, I guess.
Yeah. Well, here it is. I just actually saw this on one of the Facebook reels just about recently. Okay. Now, this is how people think, you know, when they are employees doing the cold calling, they just think that they have to do their job as a cold caller, which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that because that's their job, right? But the problem there is that you are not really thinking deeper onto what you need to do, right? I mean, when you're cold calling, you're pretty much basically part of the business or part of the real estate investment business.
That's right. Yeah.
And without you as a cold caller, the business or the investor itself would not get any deals. You know, like you said earlier, you won't be able to dunk the ball.
That's right.
If you won't get an assist from the cold caller, right?
That's right.
But the problem is that a lot of cold callers don't think that way. They just think that, you know, they just have to dribble the ball. They don't even know that they're playing basketball.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right. But now here with us, what we were thinking is that, you know, if we're not going to do it for our clients, in the first place, they're not going to stay. Right.
That's right.
We got to keep them.
Great.
Yes. Second is that, you know, they're not going to be happy. And you know, our goal is basically to make everybody happy, you know, make the cold caller happy, which is our employees, right? Make our clients happy by, you know, giving them deals. Yes. And then, of course, us making ourselves happy by, you know, keeping both or everybody happy.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I mean, that's the only time we're going to be happy, if the cold caller or our employees are happy and the client is happy.
Yeah.
We can't be happy with just one of those parties happy.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much our goal. We see ourselves as part of the client's business. That's
fantastic. Yeah.
Yes, as a partner, because like I said earlier, real estate investing is, you know, doesn't stop with just cold calling, and it also doesn't stop with just closing deals, right?
Yeah.
You need to have somebody to help you or assist you, give you an assist to get that done. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that is very that is very important point that you made, observation. And I can tell you that is the number one thing that I see with you guys and why I'm here, and I will forever be here. And it makes me, what it makes me do is it makes me want to see you grow, you know, and that's why I accepted to do this, you know, and I appreciate that I'm the first one. I appreciate that because I can't say enough about you guys. You guys, you know, I called one time I think Abby got sick and I had not met Zeus, you know, but it was like a weekend or something, and I called Zeus, or I emailed or something, and then Zeus got on the phone, and I asked Zeus, I'm like, hey, I want to talk about these leads. What is going on? And just like any client would, and he's like, okay, what is going on with the list? I'm like, well, I'm not getting as many leads as I was before. And Zeus was like, okay, give me 2 minutes and I'll call you right back. And he did. Within like 1 minute, he called me back. And he says, okay, I'm in front of the computer. Let's go through the list, right? And this was so, I didn't tell you this before, Zeus, but this was so awesome that you did this, because he says to me, okay, let's go through the list. Because it was a significant list and I had spent a lot of money and skip traced it and stuff. And he goes, okay, I'm looking at your list, and yeah, the answer rate is really, really low. And he says, I think I know what the problem is. And I said, okay, please tell me, what's the problem? And he goes, where did you skip trace this list? And I said, prop stream. And he goes, no, that's why, that's the problem. So he gave me better advice as to where to skip trace and better solutions right then and there. And we did that. We implemented the solutions and stuff, better services and stuff, where to skip trace. And you guys skip traced a lot of those as well. And now we were back to the usual amount of lead flow that I was seeing. But, you know, I was frustrated at the time, and I'll admit it, I was frustrated. I was irritated for something that was going on in my life and stuff. And Zeus identified that. And he just treated me like a friend, like a partner, like, let's fix this, because we need to fix this for you, because it's good for us. And it's like a circle, you know, just go around. It benefits everybody. So thank you. I appreciate that.
That's our, I think that has been our job, our duty for the longest time. We need to help clients, because without the clients, there's no virtual ninja. Without the VAs or the co-callers, there's no virtual ninja as well. So
yeah,
we just need to be, I guess, just do our best in maintaining both sides happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satisfied, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do a great job. And yeah, it was really fun being here with you guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ben. We really, really appreciate you doing this with us.
No
Since
problem.
this is the first. We're hoping to have more, feedback from the clients, and because someone requested some videos of our clients. It's actually one of the reasons.
Oh, nice.
Because,
Nice.
I
Yeah,
say, why not?
feel free to share.
Okay. All right. So I guess I don't have any more questions. I just wanted to, just touch base and see what's going on. Yeah. You have anything? So do you have any questions?
I don't have any more questions. But like what Abby mentioned, yes, we really appreciate you doing this with us. And I'm hoping to work with you for more years. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you bring that up because before we started recording, I was telling Angel, and I don't mind putting this on tape, but I was like, Angel, I need another caller. Like, and so before we get off here, I'm gonna send you a new list for a new market. I think 2 more markets, so I need 2. So hopefully you guys can get me going as soon as possible. And you guys always do. Yeah,
well, let me know. We can get it started right now.
Okay, I'm sending you the list. It's already skip traced and everything, but feel free to make recommendations and stuff as to if we see, of course, the answer rate being a little low.
Yep. Okay, well, I guess that's it for us. Well, thank you so much once again, Ben, Angel, and Zeus. Yep. So
thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good
All right.
day.
Good. It was a blast.
Bye.
Talk to you next time. Okay.
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 Bye.
Bye-bye.